A ver, ya eso se ha quedado. Esto es una locura.
Barcelona, Spain. A powerful storm hit the Catalonia capital, plunged the city into chaos and torrential rain caused flash floods, damaged infrastructure and disrupted of daily lives of thousands of people. The downpour, which began late on Saturday evening, downpoured more than 18 millimeters of rain a few hours, more than a month of rainfall. Streets turned into raging rivers, cars were swept by the water and metro stations were forced to close. This is the strongest storm they've seen in recent years, said meteorologist Carla La Riva. A sudden drop in atmospheric pressure and warming temperatures created the perfect conditions to the storm. Emergency service reported more than 215 calls during the night, responded to flooding homes, fallen trees and drivers stuck in flooding cars. Local authority confirmed that there were no casualties, although several people suffered minor injury. One resident, Luis Orteta, described this scene. "I looked out the window and saw the street disappeared underwater. I was terrified. We had to move everything upstairs to get the situation got worse."
Those are hot springs. Pools all underwater. They probably have.
According to officials, many people were trapped in their car in the northeastern region of Spain, Catalonia, as a result of flooding caused by heavy rains. Videos have appeared on the social media showing torrents and muddy water rushing through the town of La Rapita and Santa Barbara in the province of Tarragona, swept away everything in the path. Spain's National Meteorological Agency, EMET, has declared a red alert in the coastal province. There have been no report of death, no injuries so far. The Catalan Civil Protection Agency has urged residents to the Ebro Delta in Tarragona to stay indoors, as EMET is warning for 118 millimeters of rainfall in 20 hours in the area. The situation is difficult, and more has resulted forecast. Trains from Barcelona and Valencia in the neighboring Valencia region have been suspended until Tuesday night along the mainly coastal Mediterranean corridor. Several regions in the southeastern Spain, including the Balearic Islands, have been hit by heavy rains and flooding in recent days.
¡La que está cayendo!
Red weather warning covered several regions in southeastern Spain have now been lifted, but more slow-moving showers are expected in coming days. Orange warning remain in place along the east coast from south to Tarragona on North Alicante, as well as Ibiza and parts of Mallorca, with a yellow warning cover a large area. The bad weather is caused by the storm Alice, named by the Spanish Meteorological Service EMET, which has been closely monitoring its development over the western Mediterranean in recent days. Flights have been cancelled, and the city of Murcia is already evacuating residents due to significant flooding in some areas. The storm is expected to bring a total of 215–300 millimeters of rainfall in some areas. Yellow warning remained in place on Sunday from Valencia to the South Tarragona. Sometimes the jet streams twigs like a winding river, eventually breaking up to 11 masses, a cold air in the upper atmosphere to separate from the northern latitude. These circular teardrop-shaped masses of cold air become slow to stationary, rotated over the warm Mediterranean Sea. They create a very unstable atmosphere. Barcelona, Spain. Sunday evening, severe storms swept through the center of Catalonia, causing torrential rain, hurricane-force winds and chaos in Barcelona. In a matter of hours, the bustling city was transformed into crisis zone. Emergency sirens blazing through the narrow streets of the Gothic quarter as flash floods overwhelmed the severe scene, turning historic center into raging blue rivers in some areas, such as the Gracia, exemplars, and wave level rose by more than half of a meter, flooding basements, ground flood stops, and underground parking slots. The city recovered with a gust exceeding 100 km/h, which uprooted roads and damaged roads. Near Placa Catula, park and scaffolding collapsing, nervous missing persistence. Authority closed public parks and promenades and precautionary measures. Local hero Mark Ferrer, a volunteer firefighter, recorded rescue an elderly couple trapped in their car. When we got them, the water is already inside. If we had 2 minutes later, they might not have survived. Tourists were also caught off guard. At least 13 flights were delayed and diverted at parts of airport due to flights and poor visibility. Social media was flooded in shocking images. Flooded subway tunnels, motorcycles flooding the streets, and firefighters vaccination feet in the coast.
Hostia. Mira, mira. Hostia. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. تغزيهم بيبي.
Heavy rain caused widespread flooding in Ibiza and Formentera, forcing the temporarily closed in Ibiza airport in the cancellation of 24 flights. Authorities are urging people to stay home, and military is helping to pump out water. Of hundreds of households are without power due to lightning strikes. Heavy rain have been once of the Spanish report of Ibiza and Formentera caused widespread flooding in the transport chaos. For the second in the 2 weeks, flood have caused chaos on the Spanish Mediterranean island for Ibiza and Formentera. The publication writes, it's noted the minor roads of Ibiza airport was closed due to Saturday. Videos circulating online show remaining flow in the terminal. Flights to Ibiza were temporarily suspended for an hour due to flooding of a runway. According to the airport operator Riena, 24 flights were cancelled on the island and 19 are neighboring Mallorca. In addition, public transport was temporarily suspended during the bad weather. The authority of Ibiza, Formentera and Mallorca sent a writer to recent mobile phones, urged them to stay at home and possible to avoid traveling. To mitigate the effect of the flooding, military personnel were sent from the mainland Spain to the island to help pump out the water. Two people went missing on Saturday after heavy rain, including in Catalonia in northeastern Spain. Firefighters said they were searching along the banks and mouth of Baix River for two people who went missing near the town of Cubillas, about 15 kilometers from Barcelona. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez called it a great caution and urged people to avoid unnecessary travel in 10 northern and eastern regions that were on high alert on Saturday. The National Meteorological Service EMET reported that 10 centimeters of rain fell near Barcelona a few hours. Catalonia and neighboring region of Aragon were on a red alert of extreme risk due to rain and could bring up to 16 liters per square meter hour, according to EMET. Spain National Meteorological Agency EMET issued a red weather alert, warning that new storms could hit the region during the week. Climatologists point to rising sea surface temperatures in the Mediterranean as a key factor causing increasingly frequent extreme weather events. Major Jimmy Colbert declared a temporary state of emergency. Barcelona will recover, but this should a wake-up call. Climate resilience is no longer no option, it is urgent necessary. Barcelona is starting to clean up, and these things is clear. The city is not only battling the weather, but also climate change will be no longer be ignored. Zaragoza, the capital of Spain, Aragon region, was hit by catastrophic flooding after continuous rainfall caused the Ebro River in these tributaries to boost their banks. According to the official sources, more than 118 millimeters of rainfall in 36 hours, a record for the last decade. Entire neighborhoods along the river were flooded, forcing hundreds of people to evacuate, and rescue teams used boats to reach residents who were trapped. Schools and businesses remained closed, and authorities converted the sports into temporary shelters for the families left homeless. At least 3 people were confirmed dead, and dozens of injured in the traffic incidents and building collapsing related for the floods. In the city center, cars floated along flooded boulevards, and underground parking lot and the sideway station were filled in water in a matter of minutes. Rail service in Aragon was suspended, and a highway connecting Zaragoza, Madrid, and Barcelona were closed after landslides buried sectors on the road. Local residents described the sense of apocalypse. In just half an hour, water poured into the streets like a river. We lost everything in the first floor, said Maria Lopez, whose family home in the Actor districts was flooded. Farmers across Aragon have also suffered devastation losers. Flooded wheat fields, vineyards, and livestock found threatening malt and harvest and livelihood. The economic damage is already estimated of tens of millions of euros. Insurance companies are prepared for the wave of insurance claims. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has promised immediate aid and emergency support, stressing that the community will be left without help. Several European nations have been struck by a wave of violent hailstorm, leaving behind a scene of chaos, destruction, and disbelief. From northern Italy to southern Germany, Austria, and parts of France, residents awakened the road coated in ice, damaged vehicles, and crops destroyed in the fields. Meteorologists say the storm were followed by the clash of moist Mediterranean air with a strong cold front from the northern Europe, creating a supercell condition. Hailstorms, some larger than a golf ball, powdered the city center and rural area alike. In the Munich car were left with the shattered widespread, while the Bologna, Italy public transport was paralyzed. The hail-covered tram stack. Agriculture Associational report to severe losses. Vineyard in Tuscany and orange in Austria suffered significant damage, for the farmers described the storm as the worst in the decade. One farmer near Verona lamented, "In 10 minutes we lost what we had worked for all year." Emergency services were inundated with calls. Dozens of injuries were reported, mainly from the falling hail and the raw accident caused by sudden ice leaks. Firefighters in Austria rescued motorists stranded on a highway blackened in ice, while the France-Frome Valley flooded added the crisis and a hail-blocked drains. Video shared widely online showed iconic city squares buried under a layer of ice, sparked disbelief among the viewers. Tourists caught in the storm described as apocalyptic in the like winter in the middle of summer. Experts warn that Europe have seen a rise in extreme hail events in recent years, while the climate change likely intensify worldwide. Scientists know that the winter air cold must mean falling strongest storm capable of production large destructive hail. Several metro lines, including lines 1, 4, and 13, experienced major destruction as the water swept in the station. Communities forced long delay with their rapid urgent residents to avoid necessary travel. Power outage left more than 25,000 homes in the dark, particularly in the Paris southern suburbs. The storm also damaged parts in the ELF tower lighting system, forcing engineers to shut it off to safety inspirations. Lighting stuck near Notre Dame Cathedral, creating dramatic by the homeless flash captured by onlookers. Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo urged calm, praising first response to the swift action. Our city was forced severe weather before, but the intensity of the last night's storm show how climate change is amplifying these events, she said. We will assist all those affected. They struggled our flood resilience. Meteorologists described the storm as one of the most violent in decades as a result of a powerful Atlantic depression scalding with warm continental air from the northern France. Experts warn that such extreme weather events could become more frequent if Europe's climate continues to warm. By morning, Parisians emergency to survive the damaged streets, literally the branches flooded, cave terrace, and disrupted train schedule. Yet among aftermath were also relief. Clear skies returned the city resilient spirit shone through the once again. In Germany, the state of Bavaria and North Rhine-Westphalia were hit hard. Rail services were suspended in several regions after falling trees damaged overhead lines, with the schools remaining closed in precipitation. Dutch Brown warning passengers in significant delays in cancellation. Meteorologists attribute the extreme weather and deep Atlantic low-pressure system golden with the unstoppably warm continental air and volatile mix and intensified the storm power. Dr. Helena Richer from the European Climate Observatory stated, "We are witness not the frequent and violent weather patterns to shift atmospheric circulated linking to climate change." The storm also caused coastal surge in Netherlands and Belgium. The authority reinforcing flood a very out along the vulnerable zone. In Amsterdam, channels overflowing, forcing evacuation in low-lying districts. Airports across Europe, including Frankfurt, Paris channels, and Madrid, Bercia, reported flight cancellation and diversions, extended thousands of traveling overnight. Communities across Europe are in shock after a series of rare and powerful tornadoes swept through the parts of Germany, France, and Czech Republic, leaving widespread destruction in their wake. Authorities have confirmed numerous casualties and more than 200 injured, with the homes destroyed, cars overturned, and power lines downed. Western Germany was the hardest hit, with the powerful wind which swept throughout the residential area, poured down, injured dozens of people, and damaged hundreds of buildings. Roofs were turned off, trees were uprooted, and debris was scattered across highways. It was like a faint train rushing throughout the city, said Catherine Miller, who took shelter in a basement with their family. In northern France, a tornado stuck near Calais overturned trucks on the A18 motorway and forcing several paths to close. Residents are decided chaos in the hail, lightning, and stones wind battered cities already drenched in the heavy rain. The Czech Republic still resilient from the devastation tornado in 2021, reported another several storm in southern Bavaria, where homes and farms again destroyed it. Emergency service rose to help stranded residents and volunteers working through the night to clear debris from narrow rural streets. Meteorologists say the tornadoes formed after the mist of hot Mediterranean air collided with a cold front moving from the Arctic, creating unstable conditions ideal to supercell storms. Experts warn that the climate change could make Europe more vulnerable to such rare but devastating events. Tornadoes were once considered almost impossible here, explained climatologist Dr. Helena Novak. Now they are becoming a dangerous new reality. The infrastructure of the three countries suffered serious damage. Rail Rail service was suspended, tens of thousands of people were left without power due to power outage, and schools were closed to several regions. Insurance companies estimate the damage in the hundreds of millions of euros. Despite the devastation, there are stories of resilience. Neighbors formed human change of cleared debris, firefighters rescued trapped families, and the shelters opened their doors to lose their homes. As Europe began the long process of recovery, the tornado several stuck reminded that extreme weather is no longer confined to remote regions. It now processes to grow through to here to the continent.